Hey there everyone, it's Cloudchief, and in today's video I wanted to cover a topic that came up recently and that I actually talked about in my last video, and that's about non-crit weapon skills, whether they actually crit or not. In my last video I said that as long as you have crit gear, the weapon skills can crit, as opposed to just weapon skills that literally say crit based on TP as opposed to every other weapon skill. And so I did some tests on it, and for the longest time I've been under the assumption that yes, weapon skills can crit. After doing some further testing, I've found that they do not. So I wanted to address that fact. But there's a couple other things I want to address too. So in the end, I tried multiple different tests to confirm it, and in the end, the one that ended up really settling it was actually going out to a zone where there's level 1 mobs, and then sneak attack and doing ground strike is what we were doing, and we were able to get what the baseline is for crit. It's a single hit. We obviously, being so high level over a level 1 mob, you don't need to worry about the attack. You're already at attack cap, well over that. And then went and did it without sneak attack, and just to see. And after about 40 to 50 attempts, never saw the number hit the number that we got with sneak attack. So yes. So I do apologize. I'm not someone who wants to spread misinformation around. I try and be accurate with everything that I can. But I mean, I'm not upset about, or I shouldn't say upset. That's the wrong word. I don't really feel sorry. I posted what I thought was how things were, and because there's been a lot of things over the history of 11 where people think it's one way and it ended up not even working that way. Treasure Hunter being something for that, but not going to get into all that. So like I said, I don't want to spread misinformation, but the odd thing about it was, so where I did the original test and where I came to this conclusion was out in the ravine. I mean, I thought it was just that way just from playing Thief. Obviously, Thief gets crit traits and stuff like that, but I mean, just from doing Dancing Edge and stuff, and actually looking at the TP to see whether you're getting misses and stuff, or multi-hits and more hits, how that works, you can kind of tell if you are actually, if you're getting all the hits in, and if you're getting a multi-hit in on your weapon skill or not. And I always just thought that they could potentially crit, since Dancing Edge is accuracy based on TP, but regardless, after doing some more further testing, unless I somehow got extremely unlucky in RNG, which I don't think so, yes, weapon skills do not crit. However, I do want to derail my video for a second and talk about something that I've actually wanted to bring up, and I wasn't sure how to bring it up and didn't want to just make a video about it. And it's, if there was one thing, and one thing only, that I could, impart and essentially teach my followers and subscribers, and that would be critical thinking skills. If there's one thing that you could learn from me and you learn nothing else, the one thing that I would want you to learn is this, and that's critical thinking skills. The thing about it is, obviously we're always taking in information through, whether it's teachers, YouTube videos, our bosses, our parents, friends, colleagues. Just, we're always taking in advice and information from other people. And a lot of this stuff, and also the news, the media, just a lot of information is just fed to us and told us, oh, believe this, believe that. And the thing that I feel is you should always try and, think for yourself. No matter who's telling you, and I'm including myself, teacher, your parents, whatever someone's telling you, you don't want to just, you want to listen to what they're saying and hear them out, but don't take everything to heart, and don't just swallow everything that's being fed to you, hook, line, sinker, the fisherman and his boots and trousers, and just take everything in, because that's how, I think a lot of misinformation and stuff is spread. What you want to do is, listen to what they say, someone's telling you, and then from there, from the information and stuff that you've learned, be like, does that make sense? From the evidence that I've seen and, information and things that are presented to me and the things I know, does that line up and does that make sense? And that is like a skill that I feel that you can carry throughout your life anywhere, and it's going to help you excel. It might not make some people happy. Some people might be, they want you to take, feed everything hook, line, and sinker, especially like salesmen and stuff. The media, they definitely want you. They want to just, everything they feed you, they want you to just, take it in and be like, oh, well, that's how it is. And, that's how, they have all this fake news and stuff like that. And so you want to be able to, take what someone says and then do your own research. Because, like, when this was first presented to me, and I've thought for years that, and I'm not even upset that I was wrong about this, because, again, from the evidence that I've seen, obviously it was somewhat wrong, but, this is what I actually thought. I thought critical hits could crit if they got outside help. Like I said, now that I've, tested it more thoroughly, I've proven that. But again, when this was first presented to me, it was, just trust me, I do a bunch of research. And it's like, I'm not going to trust some random person who just, again, when I questioned it and I was like, so where's your evidence to back it up? Oh, I do a bunch of research, trust me, because I do research also. And again, and there's misinformation tossed out all the time on all kinds of various subjects. So I, did more thorough testing. Like, if you go to any group of scientists and say, oh, I discovered this new thing, and then they're like, okay, well, where's your evidence? And you say, oh, I did a bunch of research, just trust me. They're just going to laugh you out of the room. They're going to be like, okay, whatever. You need to actually present some evidence. And, like, I presented what evidence that I thought, while it wasn't thorough, in the last video, that it showed that weapon skills do crit. And actually talking about that out in the ravine, I went back out there, because when we did it, it was on Paladin White Mage. Went back out on Paladin Thief, which is also, this was kind of odd, which was kind of scratching my head even more when we did this. And I'm sure someone could be like, oh, well, that's because you were doing it on, your attack wasn't capped and, mob levels, so, you're hitting it on certain mobs. But it was like, when I was doing, at 1k sneak attack and doing ground strike, we were consistently getting numbers in the range that was what we were thinking was a critical hit when we were doing weapon skills anyway. And considering you're getting that, I would have thought, with eventually, after doing that enough times, I would have seen attacks, or the sneak attacks spike up to be higher, and never really saw that. So that seemed odd to me. So it's like, is something broken in add-on zones? I'm not claiming it is. I'm not trying to open that can of worms. I'm just saying that was something else that was odd, which is what pushed me to go do the testing in the level 1 zone, or on level 1 mobs. And that's where I came to the conclusion after, like I said, weapon skilling like 40 to 50 times, all at 3,000 TP, so there was no TP variance. We tried taking out all the factors. That's the other thing. If you're trying to do testing, you need to eliminate as many variables as possible to simplify it, just to know, okay, this works, that works. And yes, my fault for not thoroughly testing it when I was gonna, claim something. But again, I did the testing that I thought. I presented my evidence. It ended up being wrong, but, again, the scientific community, that happens all the time. People present evidence and make claims all the time about stuff. Heck, I remember in the 90s when they tried saying that margarine was better for you than butter because it doesn't have all the calories and fats, but now come to find out that margarine more likely causes cancer. So it's like, again, as new things are discovered, things end up changing. So, again, that's why, like I said, critical thinking skills, I think, is one of the most important things that I would like to impart. So, like, even anything that I say, any thing that I present, ask yourself, does it make sense? Is that something that's duplicatable, or whatever? Don't swallow anything that anyone says. Your church teacher or your priest or whatever. I mean, again, hear out what they're saying, but does it align with what is in reality? And I think that's the biggest thing that needs to do. And you should test all things, and verify things for yourself. So that's the biggest thing. Like, another example, and like any video that I put out, or any video that anyone puts out, on any subject, regardless, whether it's on 11 or anything else, again, just check it for yourself. Like, perfect example, and also take any strategies and stuff that you see and make it your own. Like, for the ambuscade video that I just put out, someone was making a comment about, well, I'm going to probably say it wrong, people jump on me, but I say everything wrong, with it, Synchronicity or whatever, the white mage thing, that, gives you magic defense, or I don't even remember what it does, but essentially it'll help protect you against magic damage. What is it? Someone left a comment basically saying that, oh, you said to use that for Astral Flow when, all the groups that I've been in is doing it for Mijin Gakura. And it's like, well, you should adjust the strategy as you see fit. I presented what I thought was the best thing, but you are obviously free to take any strategy that's presented and make it your own. Make any tweaks, adjustments, and that's how things are improved. Again, way too many people just want to try and cookie cutter and be like, oh, this is what's done, okay, let me duplicate and do exactly that thing. No, stop and analyze it and think, is there any way we can take and improve this? Is there something else that we could do? Is there adjustments we can make? And, you should always be trying to do that. By doing that in any aspect of life, I think you're going to excel at it in some way, shape, or form. And again, that is the biggest thing that if I could impart one thing to people, it would be that, is use this thing up here, this brain that God gave you. Regardless of what you believe in your faith or religion or whatever, we have this amazing thing called a brain, and make sure that you use it. And again, just don't swallow everything hook, line, and sinker, and the fisherman. That is the one thing, like I said, that I would want to be truth to anyone who's listening and following me, is that. If that is one thing, it would be that. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, may you have success in all you do.